Alright, and welcome back to the channel, buddy, and I hope you're doing fine. Today we're gonna talk about Gray Zone Warfare. So the game released into early access just a few days ago, and I think now is a good time to make a first impression video about it. We're gonna talk about everything that I enjoyed, everything that I think, well, they're doing a good job, but we're also gonna give you the hard truth about what needs to improve, and needs to improve fast if the game ever wants to be a successful title. As always, timestamps in the description, so if you're only interested in certain topics, you know the drill by now, you can jump straight to them. And with that, let's go. So first I would say we talk about the animations. I like them. I like them a lot. So when it comes to weapon inspect, reloading, checking the chamber and everything, they did a really good job, at least with the guns that I unlocked so far and that I played so far. So that is already pretty cool. You have animations for healing, you have animations for eating, and if we dive into the game, overall, the animations are consistently good. Be it grenade tossing, opening windows, we're having a good time with that. Now I would like to talk about the quest system / the task system, whatever you want to call it, okay? And at first I was really impressed by that, and it was pretty enjoyable. Because you do not really have any markers on your map. That's not how it works. So what this game does is it gives you a quest log, you have to go through it, read it, understand where the locations are and then find it. Now this is of course not for everybody, you know, gamers 2024, and that includes me too. I would like to have a little bit more guidance if I'm not really into story and reading and stuff. I'm here for the shooting. They also added some locations for your grid on the map. So you can take these coordinates here and then you will find the coordinates on the map, and this is the area where you have to look for stuff, which is cool. This is nice. This feels very, you know, milsim-ish. The game is far away from being a milsim, by the way, but that is kind of cool. The game has some flaws though when it comes to the questing system, and we're gonna talk about that later in a bit. One thing that I absolutely love about the game though is the VOIP. I think nowadays any game that is an extraction shooter needs VOIP. It adds so much atmosphere to the game. You need proximity, VOIP, and you also need squad VOIP. That is, I think, all that you need. And if it works and if it's done correctly, that is great. What you do need, though, is a mute all hotkey. Okay. Which I think is not in the game right now. So please, it would be pretty cool because, well, gamers sometimes drop gamer words, and it's honestly kind of cringe, and I don't need that in my games. The next thing I want to talk about is how the inventory system works with your, well, hotkeys / keybinds. You don't really have that. You have like 3 hotkeys for meds, grenades and rations, and everything that you have in your pockets or in your rig, not in your backpack. It has to be in a slot that is accessible for your PMC. You can select it then with the hotkey and then use a drop-down menu to interact with these consumables, which at the beginning is a little bit weird and a little bit clunky, but you get used to it. So of course I don't really know what the end game is here for this inventory system. It is okay. I don't know if it would be smoother for your gameplay experience if the game would select it, you know, the game prioritizes, so you're bleeding, the first thing you want to do almost always is stop the bleed and then splint. But that would make it maybe a little bit too easy. So right now you always have to check, keep in mind, hey, what was the last healing item that I selected in my drop-down menu? Because, yeah, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. I like the approach. I think I prefer the Tarkov one more, where you can have specific items hotkeys, because then there is no fumbling there that you have the wrong item selected on accident. So I think I need to play a little bit more, maybe I can get used to it. Maybe they will actually edit that you can hotkey it directly. We will have to wait and see. Honestly, the vaulting in this game is pretty smooth and works pretty well, and also they didn't need 7 or 8 years to implement that. But you can't vault any wall, so if it's a fence, you cannot vault it, because yeah, so it has to be a concrete wall, then you can vault it, and fences, the smaller ones, to work good. But if you have like the high fences, your PMC suddenly doesn't know how to climb anymore, and yeah. you will get shot while you try to figure out why you cannot go over that fence. The one thing that they probably nailed almost perfectly is, well, the gun audio and the gunplay in this game. They feel heavy, they feel chunky, they feel like they have immense impact. Shooting the AK, the base AK that you just can loot from any NPC that you mow down is great. And I love it how it changes the audio when you're inside. Next thing I want to talk about is the map design. And I'm not just taking... The next thing I want to talk about is the map design. And I'm not just talking about, you know, the environment, the actual map in the game. You have a big map where you can call in your choppers, where you can see teammates. You have basically a mini map, a proximity map, where you can also see your teammates. This is the way how you identify your teammates, by the way. Like all the blue squares on the map, friendly, all the green dots, your squad. Enemy PMCs do not show up there, so if somebody is coming over, role-playing as your faction, open up the minimap, check if there's a dot. If there's not a dot, shoot the fucker, alright? Because there's definitely people out there who will try to troll you. Definitely not me though. So the map works great with the grid and everything. They did a very good job. I like it that they have an in-game map. I know this sounds kind of weird, but similar titles still don't have that for whatever reason. One thing that they could improve, for example, is when one of your squad mates is calling in a chopper, it's not showing it on the map. So normally when you call in a chopper, it shows a timer at the LZ and you know how long it takes for the chopper to arrive. But the squad mates don't see that. So there is still room for improvement for some quality of life. Okay, next let's talk about the inventory system and inventory management. And there's a few things that I like and a few things that need improvement. Let's talk first about the stuff that I like. It is simple, okay? You want to empty a gun, unload the magazine, and then unload that magazine, and all the ammo is instantly in your backpack, which is great. Also, if you want to load a mag, just drag and drop the ammo on the mag, and the mag is full immediately. Well, they claim to be a realistic milsim game, or will have some elements of that, so I honestly expect it to be this Tarkov style, where you sit there and just, you know, put every single bullet in there, get every single bullet out. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. Now, for balance, this difficult thing though, because for PvP you can't really run out of topped up mags, right? I bring 2 spare mags, a shit ton of ammo in my safety container, or safe lock, what they call it, and just whenever I'm in cover, quickly open the menu, drag and drop, and be done with that. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter how many mags you bring, in my opinion. Of course, you need 1 or 2, because you can't always open your menu mid-PvP when you get shot in the open, but still, resupplying your ammo or restocking your mags is really simple. I personally like that. Let me know in the comment section what you prefer more, Tarkov style or this one. Next up, we're gonna talk about the transport system in the game, because the map is huge with, I think, over 40 square kilometers, so good luck if you want to cross that on foot. A few people did that. Takes a while, but luckily you have these little birds, so you have choppers and you can call them in, and they transport you to the LZs, landing zones. Now, no, the chopper is not player controlled, so that is NPC controlled. It works more like a bus system, honestly. You either discover these LZs by going there, that's one way to unlock them, or sometimes the quests unlock the LZs for you. Another thing that you can do is, if somebody has already the LZs unlocked, they can call the chopper to that location. You take the chopper, you go there, you fly there, you land, and voila, the LZ is unlocked for you too. The idea for this chopper system is great. But we're gonna talk in the second half of this video quite a bit about the problems with that. Alright, and then I think we're almost done. There's just one more point. Now, I talked about that already for a few seconds, but I want to talk about it again because it's an important point if you don't know how the game works, and I managed to actually troll a few people with this already, and that is how you identify your team. So you have 3 factions. They have their base of operations. The server is running non-stop, so you're not doing really raids like Tarkov. It's more like a server system like the cycle. You extract the moment you reach the base, because in the base you're immune to damage. And a lot of people still struggle with identifying who is the enemy. So you open a map for that, and you can see blue dots. Blue dots, your faction. Good guys. No dots, enemy. So it can be NPC or players. Now, there is no indicator though when you play, like there's no blue outline or like dots over them telling you, hey, this is a teammate, do not shoot them. There will be a lot of team killing. So that's gonna be a thing. When you enter an area, I highly suggest opening your map, the mini-map, really quick. Check, are there any blue dots? No, nice, then I can shoot everything that moves. Even if it looks like a PMC, shoot it. You hear some gunshots close to you, open the map, no blue dots. There's probably enemy PMCs here and you should be extra careful. You can also hover over the dots and then you see the player name, and then you can even message them. So if they're super far away and you hear gunshots over there, you can ask them, hey man, are you in a PvP combat or are you just hunting AIs and doing some quests? I like how this works, so you can identify enemies and you can identify friendlies. Blue dots, again, this is your faction, green dots, squad members. And that's it. And I think that's all the game needs. Gives a little bit more immersion, because if you run around and everything has like an outline or some dots, not the biggest fan of that. Okay, so I talked now about a lot of good things, and there's definitely more. Let me know what you enjoy about the game in the comment section. I might do another video if I keep playing the game in a month or maybe two with, you know, I hope they can squeeze out some patches that will address some of the issues that I'm gonna talk about right now. Yeah, the biggest issue that the game has right now is performance. So the game even started with mostly negative, I think, in reviews. The first couple hours, because people were just not able to play it. And is this justified? Kinda, to be completely honest with you. I'm gonna show you a clip real quick. This is the very first time that I played the game. Oh, 9 frames! Oh. What the fuck, dude? I had 9 frames for a second. Dude, next slide, please. So yeah, I always wanted to play Slideshow Vietnam. To be fair though, I changed a little bit the graphic settings, like frame generation turned on and going for performance and not quality. After loading all the stuff that happens in the background, you get something like this.
Okay, we're going to do this one series. So,
And honestly, in jungle, I hit now like 120 up to 150 FPS, but the town or the starter areas, I still get sometimes 40 or 50 FPS, and you feel it, and it's not really a great experience. So that's something that definitely needs improvement. The next thing is I have no idea how that went through quality assurance, and I think it's an absolute no-go. And it's this one right here. What? What? Oh, this is not good. So you can't shoot through glass. What? Okay, not a window test? Okay, thank you. Oh my god, so it's only that specific window? Wait, so you can shoot through glass? Like, this for example is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. So you can already see where this is going. This inconsistency is annoying as fudge. Like, glass doesn't stop any bullets, okay? I don't want full realism. Like, of course, a car should block bullets. in video games. I know they're not doing this in real life, especially not from assault rifles. But I don't know where the issue here is. Is it because I'm shooting through 2 layers of glass and then it doesn't work, and 1 layer of glass is fine? No, so that's not it. So the feedback on this is kind of weird. Also, sometimes the AI can shoot through it and you cannot, which is frustrating. And you kind of have to learn which windows you can shoot through and which windows you can't. Not great. So they definitely need an adjustment with this one. Alright, and then the other thing, I praise the animations, but sometimes the animations do not sync up with what happens in front of your screen. Like, for example, kicking a door. It feels a little bit like the door didn't realize at first that it got kicked. So, and then it swings kind of open. Yeah, okay, but it's Monday, so let me swing. Nah, I don't know. That needs some polishment. It's not a huge deal, okay? The glass and the performance is way more of an issue, but a little bit of more polishment right there. Yeah, I would like that. Okay, then quest system or quest failure, how I want to call that, because they did something great here, but at the same time they kind of fucked it up. I'm sorry to say it that way. They gave us the coordinates, so if you're not somebody who likes a lot of reading and you just, you know, you want more to PvP and unlock everything, be done with that, can't do that later on anymore. You have no coordinates anymore. Just the starter quests have them. Why? Why stop doing that? These coordinates were a great addition. It just doesn't make any sense for me, if I'm honest for you. Why change this? Otherwise, the task system is okay. It gives you reputation to unlock higher levels on the vendors, yada yada. We know this. This is nothing, you know, groundbreaking. But I was really annoyed by the quests at the end. The next thing is with the tasks. Sometimes quest items are behind doors and they need keys. And you get the keys from the NPCs around. Sometimes all these NPCs are dead and then you're effed. There should always be like a barter trade, or you buy the key, or you just don't need a key at F and all. It feels like an annoying block just to piss you off, because the moment there are no enemies and there are also no friends around that you can ask, hey man, do you have the key? Then what do? You just go and do other tasks, but then you cannot progress the vendors and not unlock the better stuff. And you cannot do all the follow-up quests that unlock other vendors. Yeah, so I would like to see a polishment here. At least the moment you have the key, it has unlimited uses, and you're good with that. So just save the keys, and then when your friends need you, you fly over there with them, and then you unlock it for them, and then they be happy. Alright, but there's one more thing that kinda was a little bit of an issue. Not too much, but team killing. Now, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, right? So, people at the beginning, especially day 1, day 2, right? They might not understand who's the enemy and who is a friend. But some people, they have no gear, they look at me. I get a strong feeling they know I'm from their team, and then they mow you down, you come back, and they took your gear. Yeah, you can report them, but I think a single report is not doing much. Probably need a couple, maybe even a couple a day. So this team killing thingy there is not great. I get it, in the heat of the moment, it happens. But right there, for example, that I just showed you, I think that was cold-blooded murder. How could you? Shame. Alright, and then I have one more topic I want to talk about, and actually 2. But first, let's talk once more about the chopper. Now, I do love the chopper thing from a fluff point. You know, from the flare, the immersion, everything. It is great. From a balance point of view, this will be horrible in a week or 2. So what happens is, you hear a chopper coming in, you check the map, and then you can see, alright, it's not a friendly chopper, it's enemies. So you rush the landing zone, and people get out of the chopper, you mow them down, and there's almost no chance for them to survive. You cannot shoot people who are in the chopper, as far as I know, but it doesn't really matter. You just hold the angle, you wait for them to come out, and you spray them down, and it's not fun. So we got farmed, but we also farmed people. It was mostly coincidence because their chopper arrived after ours at the LZ. And yeah, it just feels wrong. There needs to be some sort of counterplay. You can pay attention, like for example, if a chopper just arrived there 30 seconds before you with some blue dots, so that means some of your faction went there and the blue dots disappeared 10 seconds later, you know there's combat. But you cannot tell the pilot to fuck off, right? You cannot say, hey man, Raymond, we should probably not land there, our friends got slaughtered and it will probably happen to us too. Can we please return back to base? You can't do that. So that would be already one thing that you could do. Tell the pilot to fly back or to fly to a different LZ. That would be nice. But that only works when you know that there's people around. And there are 16 people per faction. The map is 40 something square kilometers. So normally you're alone at the LZ. You're the only one going there. And people will camp the more popular landing zones definitely for quite a bit. So you die to an LZ, you can say your kids goodbye because there is no way you can take another chopper, go there and retrieve your gear. People will farm you, people will camp your body 99% of the time. At least that's what happened to me. The next thing is maybe give you a warning that there's enemies in the proximity. For example, Showdown, right? You go to the extraction, then the horses are going off or you have like the warning sound from the boat. A mechanic that tells you that you're not alone and you have to prepare from combat. Maybe toss a few smokes before you land with the chopper, bring some smoke grenades. For example, the pilot tells you, hey man, the LZ is hot, be careful. Enemy forces are around in 100 meters. That would give you somewhat of a fighting chance. The main issue though, in my opinion, is that these LZs are insanely exposed. They're most of the time in the open. Right? There is no cover. Zero. Then, yeah, sure, man. Maybe I can shoot out of the chopper and kill them, right? Yeah, but you don't see them. There's so much foliage, so much trees, so many bushes. You will realize that there's people the moment the first bullets hit you or fly really close to you. Okay? So being able to shoot people from the chopper is not a solution because most of the time, if the enemy is not brain dead, you will not see them. So I would say pilot tells you that there's somebody around and more cover for the LZs that you cannot get shot from 30, 40 meters away, people sitting in the bushes. There were a few more extreme suggestions, like the little birds are armed and will shoot people who are close to the landing zone. I think that is overkill because sometimes it just happens that you're around and you see a chopper flying in and then naturally the smartest play is going there trying to intercept them. So yeah, that is an issue. The whole chopper mechanic is kind of an issue because you only get 4 birds. That's it. So when all 4 birds are in the air, you can't call them in anymore. And these choppers, they fly a while. So if you want to go to one of the LZs that is far away, you definitely fly a couple of minutes. The chopper has to fly back and leave the map before it becomes available for you. So I had the very fun occasion that I was waiting several minutes until I was able to take a chopper. And then good luck because you're probably not the only one who was waiting for the chopper. And the other guy slower, that would be good, faster than you. And then you have to wait even more. So this whole chopper mechanic is cool, but it needs a lot of balancing. Sadly, this is something that they will probably not be able to address fast, although they should, because it's a core mechanic of the game and also one of the core elements of PvP right now. And then I have one more point that I want to talk about, and it's not great and it's also not something I want to see them improve. It's a little bit on both ends, and that's the PvP in the game. The PvP has a high TTK, this is something that I like. The guns feel chunky, the PvP feels more or less good. However, fighting in the jungle, boy oh boy, you better bring a lot of patience. People don't move. They don't. You get 1 or 2 from the squad, and then everybody just lays down. Some people like this sim PvP, the slow PvP. I get it. I'm not hating on you. Maybe it's just not for me. You always have to separate between this is bad and this is something that I don't like. Okay, and the super slow PvP, yeah, the weird thing is it only happens in the jungle. So fighting in the cities or in, you know, where you have buildings is way better. But otherwise, with the bushes, the team that moves first makes sound, is easier to spot. You will get shot out of the bush and there's not much you can do. So that is a little bit awkward. It might just be the flair of the game, because I honestly don't know how you wanna fix that. But yeah, so far I had fun with the PvP, but with the chopper situation and with the jungle warfare, I could see my opinion shift a little bit more to, I think I'm gonna stay clear from everything that has bushes and just fight at the sawmill or at the enemy base. But yeah, I think I just have to play the game more a little bit, get more PvP and more feeling, because the PvP that I had so far was enjoyable most of the time. Next is also the respawn mechanic. Well, respawn mechanic. You respawn in your base once you get killed, you equip yourself, you call in the chopper, and you go back to the warfare. We had the incident that there was one single dude and he killed one of us, then we killed him, and was close to their base. And what happens now is our team needs 4 to 5 minutes to reinforce, and he needs like 30 seconds. So this guy always just bought an M4, came back to Hunter's Paradise or whatever that area is called, and while we were fighting AI, he came back every time, only had to invest a gun, always came back naked and tried to ambush us. I think he got one more of us, and then we just dipped from there. Because it's kind of pointless. The guy invests almost nothing, just the gun, which is okay investment, and that's it. That felt kind of awkward. I don't know if this is okay, because it kind of drives away the enemy forces from the close proximity of the base. Maybe this is intentional. But so far, I'm kind of lacking the impact when you die. You die and it's like, yeah, whatever, next kid, let's go. Who cares, right? The economy of the game kind of right now is difficult to assess, because you get all the money that you need from your tasks. It's going to be interesting the moment you do not have any more tasks anymore. You're done with all the missions. Will there be daily tasks, weekly tasks to give you some income? Because looting in the game is kind of whatever. Like you pay a couple thousand for a loadout, and the most expensive stuff that I saw so far are optics for like 80, 100 plus bucks. Yeah, that ain't its chief. Okay, that will be really awkward late game, late VOIP. But yeah, that's it. That's my first impression about Grey Zone Warfare. I like the game, I enjoy it, but there is no denying that they have quite a lot of flaws that they have to fix, and they don't have a lot of time for that. But I see you maybe in a month when I play it a little bit more, and hopefully they rolled out already a few fixes for balance and other stuff. And I will roll now the outro. Yeah, so that was Grey Zone Warfare first impression. I hope I can do another one with Arena Breakout Infinite. The playtest should be this Wednesday. I hope I get access to that one. There's a lot of extraction shooters coming out right now. Maybe a little bit rushed because of EFT. I don't know, but I want to have a look at them. Then, as always, a big shout out to my patrons for being absolute supportive beasts. Thank you so much. Wall is updated, so it should be fine now. If not, drop me a private message in the Discord. And with that, I wish you a happy day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out my link tree in the description if you feel like it. Tomorrow we have a very long video game inspired Showdown video. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye bye.